Hey, what's up, everybody? Mr. BuildWealth back at it again. If this is your first time joining me, I'm here to share information and resources that can help you get started with building wealth. The topic for this session is cannabis investing. So, some things have happened again in the news that people have decided to pay attention to, and it is all around cannabis. And there have been some company stock that has performed pretty well over the past week. And of course, I'm trying to do better around like being current because I think people just gravitate to whatever is in the news. So I'm trying to do better. But this cannabis thing is nothing new. And what I want to share with people is sometimes we don't make a move until it's too late, or yeah, I'll say that we're just too late to a lot of these, I'll say, investment opportunities. And cannabis, I can already tell, is going to be one for a lot of people. And I don't know when the right day is going to be for you to get involved in it, or as an investor, because you got to figure this out. Like Jay-Z is a billionaire, and Jay-Z is making a lot of plays on behalf of his businesses. Cannabis is just one. And for some, I'm glad that, we follow celebrities and entertainers and athletes, but there are everyday people like me who have also been in the cannabis space investing for quite some time. Now, I'm not making the big plays like Jay-Z because I'm not famous, but I've been winning as a result of me watching this market. Now, people have also asked the question, well, Jasper, I don't smoke. And I was like, I don't either. Well, Jasper, I have some thoughts and feelings around the drug itself and this and that. I was like, look, I cannot tell you what to believe in. I know people have different value systems, but when I'm thinking about investing, I think about making money. That's what I think about. Now, what you decide to invest in, again, you have a lot of options. I mean, there's this whole category of, they call them like socially responsible, or social impact, or environmentally friendly. There are a variety of these different investment options that you can choose from. But I also know that certain things are just going to be around and they're never really going to fall out of favor. And when I think about different markets, like I think about like alcohol, ain't nobody ever going to stop drinking. And there are people who don't drink, but alcohol is here to stay. And there was a time in our country where it was illegal, right? Just look up your history. But now it's everywhere. And so we have adjusted our lifestyles to, seeing alcohol everywhere, at the corner store, in your grocery store, you see it everywhere. And so I look at how that became the thing. I look at cigarettes. They still bad. And people haven't stopped smoking. Cigarettes are bad as hell, and yet people still gonna smoke cigarettes. So do you think they're gonna stop pumping them out? Hell, if you transition from cigarettes, some people go to like vaping and all. They're gonna find some alternative. And so the same thing is happening with cannabis. If you're not gonna get on this boat, just watch everybody else wave to you from the boat as we make money. It's not just Jay-Z. I'm one of them. And the thing that I share with people and my clients is you just got to pay attention to stuff. So all these states have legalized marijuana on a medicinal basis or recreational. Facts. These are like laws. Like these are in stone in all these various states. So even if you don't want to have anything to do with this industry, maybe you're just going to watch, again, from the sidelines, right? You're going to watch everybody else get into this space, and you'll keep reading about other people getting into the game. And this has been happening since cannabis began to, I would say kind of Colorado kicked it off, right? When it became legal in Colorado, like the rest of the country was like, let's just watch. And then all these other states just kept falling and falling and falling. So if you think it's going to stop, there are 50 states. And there's like Puerto Rico and America, Samoa, and some other stuff too. So just think about all the opportunity that is waiting. Hell, Canada has it legal, and yet most of their stuff is happening in America. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is going to be an area that you might want to consider looking at. It's the same with cryptocurrency. Just keep watching it. and make the decision as to whether or not you're going to get in or you're going to watch from the sideline. So I have been fortunate enough to be paying attention to the world, and I also have been fortunate to know some experts in the space. Actually, I just did a podcast recently, Cash Color Cannabis. We did a podcast last week, and we were talking about cannabis and the business side of it and the investment piece. And, I'm also very close to another young lady who runs a company called Medici Ventures. She's my fiance. And I've been asking her questions about where she sees the market going and how things are playing out in the space from a political standpoint, from a business standpoint, from an investment or economic standpoint. And I just keep asking people who are experts in the space. I just keep asking questions. I read stuff, I check with them, I read some more stuff, check with them, I watch a video, I check with them. So I started just making some small bets. I looked at some of the more popular companies who were early in the game, and I started making little bets there with them. And then as cannabis continued to evolve, I started looking at different ETFs that were out there. So now there are funds that, are looking at cannabis specific type of entities. There are real estate companies who only deal with like cannabis type of companies because they need the space for warehousing and etc. Just basic fundamentals of business. What do you think these businesses that are in cannabis need? They need a variety of services around them. So here's another little history lesson. Some of the most successful companies during the gold rush were not the miners for gold. It was the people selling them the picks. So I don't care if you don't smoke, if you don't have anything to do with cannabis, just maybe you're going to sit this one out. But I'm going to keep making bets. Again, I'm not on this Jay-Z level and using my platform. I'm not famous. But there are average, everyday people who are watching cannabis and they're making money, or they're starting cannabis-related businesses, or they're thinking about ancillary ancillary types of businesses that they can form around a cannabis entity. So again, I'm just fortunate that I have some people very close to me. Again, shout out to Tiana and Medici Ventures because they're doing this work too, from a totally different angle. But when I think about what people are going to miss out on, it's going to be this one too. If you think cannabis is just going to stop getting approved from all these states, you're an idiot. Like, all you got to do is look back and just watch these states keep approving, saying yes. At some point, all 50 states, and probably Puerto Rico and all the other territories we have as the U.S., like, it's going to be legal. I don't know how long it's going to take, but just you're seeing it happening live and in person. So again, I got some messages this morning around, are y'all looking at these cannabis stocks? I'm looking at shit all the time because I love making money. I'm not placing huge bets. I'm just making small bets over a sustained period of time. When I have more cash flow and money to play with, I'm going to do a lot more things. But cannabis has definitely been on my radar for the longest time. If you don't think it's, going to just stop, again, it ain't happening. It's never going to stop. It's happening. It's like cannabis is this, it's tough because of the stigma. I know a lot of people who look like me or some complexion of my brownness have gotten arrested and are in jail or whatever for selling weed. And now you have people who don't look like me making billions of dollars. So I say, you know what? I can't go back in time and change the law. I can't go back and wish that people that I knew didn't sell drugs or communities weren't ruined and families for somebody selling drugs and going to prison. Yes, I think it's unfair what the justice system has done to people for selling like a dime bag of weed. I think it's silly. So now I can literally just walk down. There's a store literally within walking distance from where I live here in Oakland, and I can go get weed all day. Flour, edibles, tinctures, you name it, the store is down the street. So yes, I'm living in this reality of cannabis is just another thing we can't consume. But I also think about it from this standpoint. This is the part that I think fascinates a lot of people who may be somewhat opposed to cannabis, but then when you hit them with some real shit, they start like thinking about it a little bit deeper. And one of the people that I spoke to about cannabis, it was from the healthcare standpoint. So my father's a retired healthcare professional. And when we start talking about drugs and medicine in this country, or in the world for that matter, America has done a pretty good job of making sure we stay on drugs. And the opioid crisis, I mean, there's endless information about opioids and how they've ruined families, like ruined people. People kill themselves, they are addicted. And these families who run these big pharma companies have just made a shit ton of money. So, do you not think healthcare is looking for an alternative that is not the opioid thing? What do you think it's going to be? And I don't, tell me what it's going to be. Cannabis it's a slow burn. The healthcare organizations know that. They fucked everybody over on this opioid thing. So, in case people don't know, like, cannabis is from the earth. Like, it's not. There are manufactured drugs that they can do, but like there's this. It's from the earth. Yes, whether you grow it in a field or a hydroponic setup, like this ain't gonna do what opioids do to people. Or if it is, they haven't proven it yet. So for what it's worth, if you're not trying to get invested in this in some capacity, you're going to miss the boat. So whether this is picking some stock, whether it's looking at some ETF, whether it's you want to go into the actual business itself and open up a retail shop, maybe you want to be a cultivator, maybe you want to buy some land and grow cannabis on your farm. I mean, hell, I live in the Bay Area, and this is when I knew cannabis was getting sexy. This is when I knew. I'm not far from wine country. Not far at all. And I started reading articles around people who had all this farmland for wine. They were converting their land to cultivate cannabis. That's when something in my brain went off. And so I got people who are from California who have known about cannabis way longer than I have. And I was having conversations. They were like, yeah, I'm not really sure about this cannabis thing. I just don't know if I'm going to get invested just yet. And I was like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, they are converting wine land into cannabis. That could have been the kicker. So I looked at all these things. It was all this information I was receiving. And I was like, I need to start placing some bets. Just start placing some bets. Again, I'm not trying to hit a home run with cannabis today. I'm not an insider, and I don't know the Jay-Z people of the world. I don't know, the owners of these companies. So I think about, well, what could I do with what I got? And that's getting on some platform and placing some bets. Placing a small bet in the company that you read about. Maybe you start tracking some stocks. Maybe start tracking these ETFs that are following these cannabis companies. That's all I did. And I looked at all the businesses around the business. All the business around the business. It ain't just about smoking weed, y'all, and getting high. People are making millions of dollars. And it's usually people who do not look like me, and that bothers me. So I don't think you should sit on the sideline and keep watching. You need to get in the game. I've got some good stuff here. Let me take a look here. Yeah. So comment just made. Yeah, you do not have to be a cannabis user. That's the stigma. Like, I'm from the South. Like, I've gone home with my fiance. We were like educating people. Like, they were like, does CBD get you high? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So you just think of the level of education that needs to be had around, I'll say investing in general, but let alone cannabis. Like, it ain't going nowhere. Now, depending on where you live and who you associate yourself with, there's not even a stigma if you want to roll up a blunt and go smoking in front of people. Some people still have this problem, like, yo, you don't smoke in my house. I get that, respect that. But you don't have to smoke to get high. I'm not a smoker. I'm a runner. I don't want to smoke because I actually like my lungs and I want to run and be a good athlete and be healthy. But I love edibles. So I've found companies, I'm like, I like that brand. Who supplies this brand? Let me go invest in this company that supplies them the flower to make the edibles that I enjoy consuming. Did you ever think of that? There's got to be a supplier. So I want you to think about investing in cannabis. I want you to consider investing in cannabis in some form of fashion. Some form of fashion. If you're looking for an expert, I always shout her out, Medici Ventures. That's my fiance's company. And she's doing a lot of this work across the country. Like, her and her partner, shout out to Sister Rogers and Shalise, because they've been on this grind for a long time. And I'm just watching. And I'm watching this industry evolve through their efforts, and I'm watching, what the other communities are doing. So a Jay-Z now puts cannabis on the map all of a sudden, but we're already late and we ain't famous. So we got to figure out, how do I get into this space? And I would challenge anybody who loves still smoking weed, why are you not investing in it? Again, where do you get your flower from? I don't care if it's legal or illegal. Where do you get your that came from somebody's land or some hydroponic or factory, whatever. It came from some place. Could you be an investor in that facility, in that farmland? There are cultivators. Could you? I don't know what the possibilities may be endless, because this industry is only going to continue to grow. Only going to continue to grow. So maybe this is going to be another thing that you miss out on because you don't do any investing at all, or you're afraid of the markets, or you feel bad about smoking weed, whatever. Figure it out for yourself. But there are going to be some of us, people like me, who are going to just keep placing these bets in certain industries that I think are going to stand the test of time. I think there are going to be so many developments that happen just as a result of more states legalizing it, whether it's on the medicinal side or on the recreational side. So I need you to figure out how you will get in. And if you're on this, I don't know where to start or what to do, Mr. BuildWealth's here. Hit the link in my bio, schedule a 15-minute call, hour-long call. Like, I'm just one guy who knows a little bit about this game, this money game. And cannabis is one of those that, I'm not going to be a crazy evangelist. I'm going to keep, trying to do my part to share with people the opportunities. And then what you decide to do with the information is up to you. It's up to you. I'm going to keep placing these bets in this space and industry, and I'm going to keep watching. And when it falls out of favor again, people are going to find something else to talk about for a couple of weeks or a couple of years. And I'm going to keep placing these bets. And then they'll come back again. And I'm going to keep placing these bets. I'm never going to stop. Like, we're all trying to do this. I want to make it quick. That's not investing. I want to invest for this long term. If you want to be a trader, that's, trying to make the quick flip. But most people got day jobs. They don't have time to watch these things go up and down. So figure out an investment strategy that may include a little bit of cannabis and maybe includes a whole bunch of other stuff. So I don't want you to shy away from it, because the world is not going to. And all you're going to do is keep seeing more and more things about cannabis and all the stuff that culminates into this space that is going to take over this country. If you don't believe me, all I'm going to do is, and I'll save this video, I'm going to play this video 5 years from now. And I guarantee you there will be somebody who said, man, I saw that brother, he said this, and I still didn't invest. And all I'm going to do is look at you and say, you an idiot. Like, why? I can see if I wasn't credible. Like, I'm going to keep trying to give people the real and see, like, the real good stuff, the real information, and see what you do with the information. That's all I can do. I'm one guy who knows a little bit about what's going on in the world. And for stuff that I don't understand, I reach out and connect with experts. Some of them are very close to me. Others, I follow them online. I read articles. I watch videos. And I just do what everybody else does who wants to be, I'll say, a very smart investor. They do a lot of research. And then at some point, we get to the point where we've gathered so much information that now we just got to act. And that's the other part that I see people stumbling around, is making that step. Well, I know they talk about cannabis, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to start it. You got to execute. Your plans are worthless if you don't put them into action. So if Mr. BuildWealth can be of service and help you with your investing program, which may include a little bit of cannabis, I'm here. I'm not running. I would love to help everybody out, but you can't say I didn't tell you. All right? I'll catch y'all next time.